Hey buddy, John Villarreal here at Alfa Maserati Saint Pete and a brand new Qvale Auto Group store. I'm super excited. I'm with the genius, the automotive genius, Geno Walsh.
I don't know about that. You're a little bit too high on that.
Did I pump out too much?
I'm kind of just a guy.
Oversold it?
I oversold it a little.
All right, fair enough. But you know what? Let's start with that because now you got me interested. Tell me about your automotive history. A lot of people don't know it.
Oh, I think some people know it, but I started in captive finance world, buy here, pay here. I started the primordial juices of this business. Just used cars, you know, cars under 10 grand, cars under 5 grand, cars under 2 grand. That's where I started.
You really learned about how to put a deal together.
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously a lot of special finance, but at the same time, you know, you have to go to the auction, you have to go look at cars, you have to then buy the cars, and then you have to go back and put the reconditioning hat on. And then you have to take your reconditioning hat off, and you have to go to the dealership and do your sales hat, and you got to do your marketing hat, and then you have to do your F&I hat, and then you have to do your collections hat. So there's a whole bunch of different things that you have to do.
Very entrepreneurial.
Very entrepreneurial. Like you have to, you know, you can't wait for the factory to save you. Let's just put it that way. You have to do all the saving yourself.
So how long were you rolling with that?
I did that from 2001 to 2007, and then I looked and said, hey, I need to round off my career, and wanted to just cut my teeth into the new car side and had to start at the bottom again.
Right. And
then work my way back up. So, but it was really well worth it.
So now you are the executive manager of retail operations for the Qvale Auto Group. Talk about that role, how that role has sort of evolved and changed for you, and what the group's doing, and what's going on with this store in St. Pete.
Well, I can tell you that when I first took the role, it was like, hey, go out there and teach people how to do social media marketing.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm gonna go out to California to teach people how to use Facebook. So that was kind of an interesting thing right off the bat. But you know, it kind of moved into this thing where I was like, well, let's not spend $1 in marketing because we need to fix all the processes. First it was the CRM process, and then that evolved into the sales process, and now it's evolved into the service process. And so that's where we really focus on. When I talk about people's process, I always say the customer looks at us as a brand. And that brand is the customer's experience. And that customer's experience is our process, whether it's in service or sales. And that process is how well we train people, right? So you kind of back it out from there. You go brand equals experience equals process equals training. And that's where most of my time has been spent. It's focusing on developing new processes and then putting training implementation behind it, and then A/B testing it constantly to make sure that it gets better.
I love it. Geno, that's really, really fantastic. So, I guess you've seen automotive evolve. How is it evolving now, and how do you at Qvale Auto Group stay ahead of the curve?
Well, that's kind of like what we say. We always have this thing, we call it the road ahead. So if what you did yesterday looks good to you today, you haven't done anything for yourself yet. Plus, when we want to be on the road ahead, we want to say that, like, wherever that, you know, in hockey, and we're in Tampa Bay, so it's kind of good to talk. Even though they lost, we can still talk about Tampa Bay.
That's all right.
We're back-to-back champs.
Good job, Mike. Yeah.
But in hockey, you don't go to where the puck was. You go to the puck where the puck's going to be. And same thing in business, right? And so that's what we look at in our processes. We want to go where the customer wants to be, right? We call it the Qvale way. So we meet you there, whether it's online, offline, or anywhere in between. We're going to meet you where you want to do your service, where you want to do your sales process.
So let's talk. Okay, so I want to talk about a couple of things. I always talk about the future of automotive. In my opinion, where do you think the market is now? You've got all these disruptors coming in. We talked to Bruce a little bit.
Well, I think you have different buyers that want to buy cars differently right now. There's no, you know, listen, Tesla's doing a great job, but at the end of the day, Tesla's what, you know, less than 1 million cars in the United States. We're on a czar of 12 million, and it's a low year this year. So it's not even 10% of the market. Mm-hmm. And then we're not even talking about the used cars. Like, a lot of those customers still want to go to the market, right? They still want to thump the melons. They still want to smell it, they want to touch it. They don't want to just buy a complete digital transaction. And in fact, when you look at Carvana and you look at Vroom and you look at Tesla, it's really a logistics play more than it is a complete digital retail transaction, right?
No doubt, no doubt. And I want to talk to you a lot about that. We'll have all kinds of different videos that you and Geno and I have got all kinds of different plans. But you're right at that strategic level. So I've got so many questions for you on that. Do you feel like, you see what Mercedes has done with the dealerships and in Europe and stuff, and right? I mean,
Yeah, well, the funny part about that is that Mercedes did that in the UK, and then now they're trying to sell the dealerships back. So, you know, I kind of liken it to the dog, right? We had a dog when we were a kid, and I'm not calling the manufacturer's dogs by no means. What I'm saying is that we had a dog when I was growing up. Her name was Ginger. She was an Australian cattle dog. She's blue heeled, right?
Awesome.
And she used to chase after these cars constantly. Like they come down the road and you'd see the Ginger just go right after them, right? It's kind of the same thing when you think about it with the manufacturers. They've been chasing after direct consumer sales for so long. I think they don't understand that they're going to catch a tire with a whole mouthful of tire. And what happens when somebody catches a whole mouthful of tire? Well, they fall over where that tire's going. So when you think about it, you go, okay, so what's the customer's experience without us in between, right? When the car's stuck at the port, there's a titling problem. I have a car in one of our departments right now. We're waiting on a part. It's been over 300 days. How's the manufacturer going to handle that customer? That's a massive heat case. What people do they have that's available to them right now to manage all those experiences? And we're not talking about like one experience, we're talking about 12 million experiences, and that's just on the sales side. And it's 3 times that much just on the service side. So do they really want to catch the tire? Do they really want to catch the car? That's the question, because I think...
And 3X on the used car side.
Yeah, and 3X on the used car side. So, but I think there's a place in there. I don't think it's all the way there. What I've heard from some other people who purchased Teslas before, when it wasn't that, when it was more exclusive,
right?
They said how awesome the service experience was.
Okay.
It's not that way anymore. Like,
right.
You know what I mean?
It's grown, it's changed.
It's grown, it's changed. So I think we're in this, you know, fluid, evolving thing, which is called retail. And I think customers' experience and expectations are going to change as we go too.
It's being disrupted, but people don't understand. We don't know, none of us really exactly know how it's all going to work out.
Yeah, anytime we put a sales process in, I don't know how it's going to work out.
Right.
But I'd rather not wait for perfect and just go.
Absolutely.
And then the customer is going to tell you where you need to pick up the pace. Like
we totally agree on that. Yeah.
For example, like one of the things when we put in single point of contact that I had no anticipation for, which was going to be a problem, was that we can start to finish a deal within 25 minutes, right? So the customer can come in, we test drive the vehicle, we come into the showroom, we sit down, we have iPads, we have big TV screens, we're very transparent upfront sales process. We use velocity intelligence pricing, so we get to the chase as far as the pricing is concerned, market-based with incentives. So it's fast,
right?
It's efficient,
right?
Okay, but now we're finishing a deal in 25 minutes and we're waiting an hour and a half for the car to come out of detail.
Correct.
Like that
different
never happened before.
Right.
Like
the gating
and
changed.
It's weird. Like you had no idea that was going to be the significant issue.
It used to be finance.
It used to be like just getting into finance
Correct.
was that long. So now the customer's not waiting for finance; they're waiting for their car. So it's just like a completely different scenario. But it's just interesting because, you know, if I would have sat there and tried to like write a process for perfection, you wouldn't even have known that would have been a problem until it occurred in the process.
This is what I always call in a different note, you know, car math. Like, hey, if I want to, you know, to typical sales manager, general manager, hey, I want to sell 100 cars. Each salesperson sells 10 cars. I need to hire 10 salespeople. Well, what about your gating items? What about how long the process? Do you have the inventory? And on and on and on and on. You have to look at all the.
And that's kind of what we said with the road ahead.
Yes.
Narrows. So like the expectation and the mistakes we did yesterday, we cannot do again. And so we've got to, you know, find those rough patches and those bumps in the road, and we got to flatten them out, so that the experience has less friction in it, so that we're faster at delivering these world-class experiences to customers, whether it's service or sales.
But so going back to that, I think that makes a lot of sense, right? I mean, you know, as you said, be careful what you wish for, because manufacturers are really good at manufacturing. And
are they?
Well, I mean, I hope so.
Literally, think about it, right? Me and you are both involved in the international supply chain crisis.
Yeah, we are.
And like we've been waiting for some of these models
for a minute,
for months.
Yes.
Like they were supposed to launch XYZ car in October, and today is, you know, we're almost July 1st. Yes. So are they really good at manufacturing? How did they not see that, like, maybe they shouldn't put all their chips, so to speak, in the one basket with their microchip plants?
Well,
right?
Right, and right. So there's a lot.
So these are the guys that can't get cars across the Atlantic Ocean that get, you know,
Right.
$400 million worth of vehicles.
It's crazy.
Went to the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean.
Oh my goodness.
And so, do you think they're going to be able to handle those expectations of the consumer when they're human beings?
Well, and
when they're connected to, like, mom's got to pick up the kid to go to the soccer practice, or they're connected to, I got to get to my job.
Phones are going to melt.
Yeah.
Right, because it's everyone coming in at one point as opposed to all these different dealer points with the community relationships and
So yeah,
you know.
I mean, I'm not going to take away all their credit on the manufacturing. They do a great job on it, but I'm just saying there are shortcomings, right? And we're seeing them in real time right now.
I think what you said before, what looked good yesterday in terms of just in time and having outsourced manufacturing and lowering your costs of manufacturing may not be so good today when you need redundancy, when you need things that are closer.
Yeah. Well, the American consumer is completely different than the European consumer.
Okay.
Right? The expectation is now.
Yeah, right.
No, it's like before now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like I thought of it and I want it now.
Yes.
Right? Like we're all used to pressing the button on our phones and being able to have somebody pull up a bicycle courier and drop off the Apple AirPods, right?
But what about a hybrid model? Do you envision? Okay, so I think we both.
But this is the point. Like you got to figure out where your customer wants to be met.
Right.
So if you go to where the puck is, right, as opposed to going where the puck was, you go to where the puck's going, right? Then that's where the customer wants to be met. And so like they're different, right? So like somebody who's a baby boomer wants a completely different sales process than somebody who's a Gen Z.
Yeah.
Right? Somebody who's a Gen X wants a different sales process than a millennial, right? So you as a professional retailer have to figure out how you can custom fit each experience.
And again, not in absolutes, but in terms of just these different brackets that survey out.
And so that's kind of where we came up with the Qvale way in the first place, is like say, we're going to meet you where you want to be met.
Okay.
Okay? If that's at the dealership, let's do it at the dealership. If that's 90% online, let's do it 90% online. If you want me to do a Microsoft Teams or a Zoom meeting and we'll do the entire transaction that way, and we'll do CDK sign from anywhere, and we'll digitally contract you, and you want the car dropped off to you in Utah, and we're here in Florida, I'll do that.
Whatever.
Yeah, why not?
Let me play the skeptic for a second. Okay, everybody talks about this. Now we have some dealerships that are selling things in the metaverse. Like, how different is the Qvale way?
It's way different because we can actually fulfill it. That's the first thing. First, it's not a marketing thing.
Right.
It's an actual thing.
Right.
So a lot of folks that are out there, they talk about things and they market to it, but then once you submit a form, then you're right back into the same traditional sales process.
Yes.
Ours is not like that. It's really omnichannel.
Okay, now you talked about, I don't know how much we can talk about, but there's different iterations on this. You're on, I guess, V3 of this?
No, this is like V6.
Okay.
Yeah. We started in 2018 with single point of contact and digital retail.
Yeah.
Like 2 years before the pandemic happened.
Yeah.
It was kind of interesting because when the pandemic happened, everybody was trying to figure out how to get digital retail. We were already like 2 years in. And so we started with our oldest store in California, or our youngest store out in Lakeland. And we went out and launched it. And you know, some of the things that we thought were going to work were not the right way to do it, right? We were like, let's segregate the showroom. Let's have our 3 best people do it. And let's have this other traditional sales process over here. Well, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because water finds its way and salespeople revert back to the old ways if they think it's softer and easier, right?
Yes.
And so our second iteration, we wanted to do half of the process. That didn't work either. And so what I've learned now is just to tear the Band-Aid off and just go, right? Like every single time that I wait, you just go. You get in there and it's fluid, you figure it out. And by the time you get to where you want to go, the puck's already moved.
Right.
So now you gotta go chase the puck again. So what's the point of trying to wait for perfect? It's not gonna happen.
Do you think we're going to be in a space where customers are going to want that sort of single price and optionality and ordering?
For me to say that, it'd be, do customers want that? I think that some do. I think some people still love to negotiate.
Oh no, right. I meant like with the EV stuff, a lot of manufacturers are trying to have you order the vehicle And I mean, does that help obviously with inventory stuff? And
Okay, so the moment that a manufacturer loses massive amounts of market share is the moment that this bespoke modeling goes away.
Got it.
Bespoke wording.
I agree.
Like, oh, hey, wait, we're down 40 basis points in market share.
Switch it up.
The F-150 is no longer the fastest selling, highest selling automobile truck.
Yeah.
Now it's the Tundra. Like, what happened, right? Then your stock goes where, right? So I think a lot of what you hear out there. I think a lot of what you hear out there is clickbait. They want relevancy. So they all are trying to emulate a guy who's literally the Pied Piper of technology. He's a genius. He's got 97 million followers. He's going to purchase Twitter. But he's got 97 million followers there.
Yeah.
And
you can't all be that
most of these guys can't even bust 250,000. So you got to be provocative. So there's all these folks that are out there talking about these provocative ways to do business. And it's great and it's nice. You get the clickbait, you get your name, you get the relevancy. But if you're not going to be able to fulfill it, then all you're doing is setting up expectations for consumers to go to the disruptor in the first place. Like if you're telling everybody that you've got, for example, you could do this whole single point of contact process and then make it super easy for the customer, and then they come through the dealership, and then the first thing that's asked them is like, what brings you in here today? You looking for a car? You looking for a truck? Have you ever been here before? Like, wait a second, I did 90% of the work online. Like, why don't I have to go through that same process?
I should be almost done.
Well, when a customer goes to Tesla or they go to Rivian or any of the other ones out there, it's like it's not 30 pages, it's maybe 2 pages.
Okay.
And then they're ordering a car.
They've already done the the homework.
Yeah. No, I'm literally saying, like, when you go on to Tesla, you go on to Rivian, it's like, there's 3 models, there's 3 different colors, and there's 3 different options, and you only have 2 pages to do it on. Whereas you go to one of these other OEM legacy manufacturers, it's like they want to ask 15 different pages worth of questions before they ask for the deposit.
Yes, 2 first.
So it doesn't work for the customer. So that's my point. It's like if you're going to pitch all this, we're going to go electric and everything electric's going to be in this wonderful digital sales process and there's not going to be any price negotiated, right? Great. But then when they go to your website and it's like a 14-page ordeal in order for them to give you a deposit for a car they're going to have to wait 18 months for if it shows up.
Right? That's tough.
Like, do you think that's a great experience, or do you think that like somebody who can kind of marry both worlds, which is the traditional with the progressive,
right?
Can that person actually find a better experience? Like I said, brand equals experience, experience equals process, process equals training.
So kind of a hybrid flexible system.
Because everybody wants to do it a different way, right? It's not one size fits all. Like, right, we got you a hat today. We got him a hat today.
Yes.
It said one size fits all, did not fit him.
Well, it actually said one size fits most.
Yeah.
And I'm outside of most.
One size fits, but that's the exact same thing.
Right, yeah. That's true. So this sounds kind of hard, weird, maybe hard to quantify it this way, but like this process, the Qvale, way 6.0, what kind of dollar value would you assign to that? Like, hey, you know what? Because customers are going to be having such an easier time doing it, or happier time, better time, faster time, would they be willing to pay $200 more, $500 more?
Actually, I think they're going to pay the same price, maybe less, but they're going to do it faster, so our transactions go up.
So just a major competitive advantage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're not
gouging people because
No. I wasn't.
No, but I'm just saying we're not.
Yeah.
I'm not going to overcharge somebody to do what is expected.
No, and
You want to deliver an experience that's beyond expectations.
I was trying to quantify the competitive advantage in a dollar sense.
Well, we have less people doing it, so when there's less people doing the process, it's not how much more money we can make on the deal. It's actually how much more money we can save by producing the deal. We call it the CPUP, cost of producing unit.
So basically, you save time, you have efficiencies, you save cost, and because of that, now you're in a position here, and like you said,
you can have a more competitive price.
Right. There's no addendums.
No addendums.
No markups.
No markups.
And you have, hopefully, I'm sure, a healthy company. Right?
It's extremely healthy.
Exactly.
We do a lot of projects where we self-fund, which is even better. Like, not a lot of loans out there for some of the projects.
Are you
We're doing a $2 million remodel at one of our facilities.
Oh my God.
And it's coming out of cash. It's not coming out of a loan. So yeah, it's pretty helpful.
Are you worried about other people copying you
No,
out there?
absolutely. I wish they would do it. The reason why I want them to do it is because the way that we can protect ourselves from the disruptors is if we steal from what they're trying to do.
As an industry, absolutely.
As an industry.
Yes.
So steal as much as you want.
Yes.
Yeah. But it doesn't mean you're going to do it better than me, right? Like,
still an execution play, still people business.
So listen, Tom Brady, same football.
Oh yeah, like
Same helmet, same pads,
yeah.
right?
Exactly.
Right? And but where he puts that football and how he puts it there is completely different. So yeah, I mean, there's going to be people that are going to emulate you, often duplicated, never imitated. That's kind of one of the things. But if you have that mindset that like you're not done, right? Like if the road ahead,
always learn, always
the
improve.
road to success is always narrowing, then constantly you're going to try to improve your process. Now, if you say, okay, I'm here, I did it, we've arrived, then yeah, someone's going to catch you and bypass you.
Of course.
Yeah, someone's going to steal you and they're going to move.
Hence the 6.0.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so let's get back to, I can talk to you forever. Let's getting back to the specific. Maserati, Alfa Romeo, Maserati Saint Pete. What's your vision for this store? This market has seemed to me like maybe, in my opinion, maybe not the strongest. I mean, in terms of Maserati, like I think there's a lot of opportunity.
I think first and foremost, there's when I look at what sells, first you have to let people know what you're selling. So we're going to do a pretty strong marketing play in this market. This is a wonderful market, by the way.
It's really exciting.
Just flying in today, just taking a look at all the beautiful houses.
Gorgeous, right?
And the beaches, and the high rises that are in down St. Pete. Like,
it's booming.
This screams luxury import market.
Yes.
Right?
A lot of technology, healthcare.
Yeah, all that stuff. So, but we have to make sure people understand that Alfa Romeo starts at $39,000. The new Tonale that's coming out, it's going to be an absolutely gorgeous automobile from Europe, and it's going to start in the 30s, high 30s. Even the Giulia and the Stelvio are appropriately priced, anywhere between $40,000 and $50,000. And then you move up the chain and you look at some of the stuff that's coming from Maserati. It's just off the charts. Qvale is unbelievable.
Oh, I'm so excited for that.
New technologies in there with the MC20. So this
right up against McLaren.
And this store has everything. It has from the pre-owned vehicles all the way in the 20s all the way up to $250,000 or even a $300,000 CLO.
Can I don't know if I can say this or not. I mean, do you want this store to compete at certainly obviously regional level, at a national level?
I want the store to do. I want it to compete against itself every single day.
Okay.
And then after that, we can figure out where the rest of the chips fall. Right? Would it be great to be the #1 Maserati and Alfa Romeo store in the country? Absolutely, 100%. But the goal is to deliver amazing experiences to our consumers and do it so they tell everybody and their family members about it. And then we have a great partnership with the manufacturer and we deliver more cars in the marketplace. That's the first goal. Right?
Absolutely.
That's the first goal.
Make this the best place to buy a car in St. Pete.
Yeah, that's it, period. If you could do that, then we'll worry about the rest as we go. Right?
I love it. Anything else that you're thinking about that you want to round out the conversation with?
I mean, come and experience the Qvale way. That's what I would tell you. Whether it's in service or sales. In service, we call it transparent service. So you're going to get to see what work's going to be done, what work we're going to advise to you. You're going to have complete control of that process. You have a glove box where you can accept, defer, decline the work. Come here and see what our sales process is about. See how fast and efficient it is. And then come see this beautiful.
Oh my goodness.
This thing is absolutely gorgeous.
It's amazing.
Like we're in the busiest street I think I've ever seen.
I know.
There's got to be 500,000 people that drive by here.
It's unbelievable.
It's an absolutely gorgeous facility.
Right by the beaches.
Right by the beaches, and the cars are second to that too.
Yeah.
Like if you want to drive a beautiful car, it's
yes.
going to be one of these Italian masterpieces. So I definitely tell you to come by, take a look at what we have here.
The works of art and technology.
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
I love it. Geno Walsh, Executive Manager, Retail Operations for Qvale Auto Group. I'm John D. Villarreal. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please share it on your social media. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. Thanks so much again. I will see you next time.